Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K Collector, and I am back. It has been a while, folks. Yes, it's been a few weeks, and that's primarily because life does not stop. It keeps going, and the responsibilities continue each and every day, but I've still been able to make some time for some gaming and some gaming pickups. However, I do have to say that I am in the midst of a very large sell-off. Yes, I am selling off a huge chunk of my collection, and a lot of what I'm selling off is a lot more of my common games, games that are good but maybe aren't as hard to find, games that I know I can easily buy back if I wanted to get them back, and then just even some import stuff that I realize, I'm not going to play these imports. And I'm selling all kinds of stuff. I'm selling handheld consoles. I'm selling sealed games. I'm selling used games. So it's really just a broad range of things that I'm selling and I'm going through. Part of this is my purge. I've always said on this channel that I don't really want to exceed a certain amount of games in my collection. And a lot of that is primarily because of space. And so I just hit a point where I'm actually going through a purge. But I don't want to do too much jabbering or blabbering about that, because I did happen to get some pickups for the second half of May. Before we dive into June, I figured I'd share some of those with you. Go through these. These will probably be some of the last pickups that I make for a while, really just concentrating on selling stuff. And as a matter of fact, some of the videos that I'll put out in the future will probably be concentrating on stuff that I'm selling, and less about things that I've picked up. And of course, I'll still continue to showcase any pre-orders that came in, and I figured that'd be a good place to start. Why don't we pick it up there? So let's dive in to the second half of May pickups, and let's start with some of these pre-orders because some really cool ones came in. So let's first start off with Strictly Limited. So from Strictly Limited, I was able to get in Death Smiles 1 and 2. This is a very cool shoot 'em up that came out on the Xbox 360, and here you get both games on one cartridge here for the Switch. I have not played it yet. Don't know if it's as good as the 360 version, but I am excited to have this in the collection. You all know that I love a good shmup, so added that in there. Then another one came in from Strictly Limited, Cotton. I'm a big fan of the Cotton series, and so this one includes Cotton 2, Cotton Boomerang, and Guardian Force. And this is a tribute to some of the, classic Sega Saturn shoot 'em ups. So this is another pre-order that came in. Really stoked to happen to get this, and that came in the mail as well. That is for the Switch. Then we have some limited run action, right? So here goes one, Blood Rain Betrayal. So this is a cool little hack and slash that came in as well over the past couple weeks, and I'm really excited to have this one here. Love me a good hack and slash, so that's in there, and it's by Way Forward. They're pretty good. They usually come out with some really good games. I know Way Forward mostly for River City Girls, and that's one of my favorite beat 'em up games of all time, actually. Then we have Narita Boy. Yes, Narita Boy. This was another cool side-scrolling platformer type game, but this is a pretty cool one. Graphically looks pretty cool, and the gameplay from what I've seen is really awesome. So excited to have Narita Boy in the collection. And then one more pre-order that came in. I don't usually get these, but this is one that I wanted to get just because I like these type of I'm always looking for a good mech type game, and I do own a Sega Genesis, and so I went ahead and picked up Mad Stalker Full Metal 4th. Now this is also released by Strictly Limited Games, but they released it for the Sega Genesis, so there's an actual Sega Genesis cartridge in there. Haven't opened it yet. It's still got the Strictly Limited seal right there, but this is cool. Comes in a little cool retro Sega Genesis kind of hard case, or I guess clamshell case. I don't know if that's what you call these, but that was pretty cool to get. So that's the pre-orders that came in. Now let's talk about some online pickups that I was able to grab as well. So, and these were done just some really quick deals on eBay. Had a little bit of extra time and saw these coming in at a pretty good price. So added Mario and Luigi Dream Team to my 3DS collection. Don't have a huge 3DS collection, but I saw this was like $14, so I said, hey, why not? Let me go ahead and add that. Never really turned down a good Mario game at a good price, so went ahead and got that there. And then another unique one that I'd never heard of for the 3DS, but I saw this and grabbed it. I'm always down for a good RPG, and that is Legend of Legacy for the 3DS, and this is by Atlas. Atlas is known for putting out really good RPG stuff, so this is one that I wanted to add to the 3DS collection. So yes, Legend of Legacy. And then went ahead and added this cool one, Dragon Ball Origins. So the gameplay looked more fun to me than it actually was when I got it. I started playing this, and this is kind of stylus heavy. I don't know if there's a way for me to change those controls, but I'm not a huge fan of playing like action games with a stylus. So, but this is one that I was glad to add. I was really hyped off of the Dragon Ball Adventure game that I had gotten on the Game Boy Advance. So I was hoping that this would be something in that neighborhood. Okay, then I also got some pretty cool PS3 pickups. We're going to go ahead and start it off with a little hack and slash action. Went ahead and picked up Sengoku Basara. This is pretty much like another version of Dynasty Warriors. This is probably the Capcom version, but pretty cool still. Lots of characters you can play as. Pretty cool action, you know, open levels, open world. You know, you pretty much Dynasty Warriors, think that, but just pretty cool. And this is the Capcom spin on that. So Sengoku Basara. I actually have this on the Wii, but figured it'd play a little bit better on the PlayStation 3, just like the PlayStation 3 controller. And then also added Hyperdimension Neptunia. So this is one that's definitely coming into the collection. This is staying in the collection. I'm a fan of these Hyperdimension games. I actually started playing them on the Vita first, so wanted to just check this out on the PS3. It was a pretty decent price, so grab that there. And then also picked up a couple Xbox 360 games. So this is a unique hack and slash game that I hadn't heard of, but it was made by Konami, and I'm a huge fan of Konami, and it's pretty cheap. But this is 99 Nights Part 2. So this is a really cool hack and slash on the Xbox 360, and this is one that I wanted to add there. And I didn't just stop there, because I wanted to check out the first one. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right. And so I picked up Part 1 of 99 Nights on the Xbox 360. These are both very cheap games, around 10 to 15 bucks, but a lot of fun, a lot of hacking and slashing, just pretty cool gameplay. Two games that I definitely wanted to check out. And then also ran into GameStop. I had a $5 coupon that I hadn't used yet, and they had Warriors All-Stars for $17.99. So this came in roughly at around 13 bucks, but not bad. Again, I'm a big fan of the Dynasty Warriors series, and I thought that this was a cool game to get just to add into that Dynasty Warriors collection that I've been building in my collection. So added that one there. And then last but not least for the PlayStation games, but this is one that I've been looking for, I want to say for about maybe 8 months. I finally found it at a really good price, and that is Way of the Samurai 2. So really cool hack and slash style game, very traditional samurai gameplay. I do have part 1 of this game, and I had been looking for part 2 for a while. So finally got my hands on Way of the Samurai 2. And this is just a really cool game, really cool looking game, and the gameplay looks pretty tight. So went ahead and added that there to the collection. All right. And then also wound up getting some really cool retro pickups too. So picked up a pretty cool copy of Battletoads, Battle Maniacs. Don't really buy a lot of Super Nintendo games, but when I do see them for a good deal, I'll grab them. And this one could use a bit more cleaning. Definitely got to throw a rag on this one, but this one was pretty cool. I am a fan of the Battletoads series. I have played Battletoads and Double Dragon, so this is one that I wanted to add to the SNES collection. And then also found some other really cool Nintendo type stuff. So one of which was I ran into another Game Boy Micro. So these things, I've been running into them a little bit, or not a little bit, a lot of bit. So this is the second one that I ran into recently. And so this was one that I added, a cool little Game Boy Micro, and came with some pretty cool games. So we'll talk about a couple of them at a time. So let's first talk about Puzzle Fighter 2, Super Puzzle Fighter 2. This is one that I wanted to add there. And then Spyro was another one that came with it. So really cool to add these two to the collection there, to the Game Boy Advance collection, the loose card collection. And then also came with two more. That was Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004. I love golf games. Golf and tennis games I'm a big fan of, so I'll get those. And then they also had Super Mario World Advance 2. So added these two to the collection as well for the Game Boy Advanced. And then last but not least, this one was pretty cool. Wound up getting just the console only of the Super Nintendo Mini. And I do have plans for this. I'm actually going to jailbreak this one and try to get all of the SNES games on this one and have it modded, because I do have a different one. So I am going to keep the one that I bought originally in its box, and then I'm going to use this one to get it modded so I can have all the SNES games on one little spot, and I can play it on the closest thing to OEM hardware that's out there. So this is one that I got. So that does it for the more recent pickups so far for the second half of May. Like I said, don't got a ton, not doing a ton of grabbing and picking up and shopping and buying. It's more selling season, and I want to say I'm a few $1,000s into my sales run right now. So I do have a target of funds that I want to kind of pull out of my collection. You know, there is a dollar amount I'm looking for. Just because, you know, if I don't need it, if I'm not playing it, it makes more sense for me to get rid of it. And honestly, there's a lot of games that I have in my collection that I had intended to sell for a while, just never really got around to it. So found some time, and I am having a fire sale. But let me know what you're picking up. Let me know what you've picked up the second half of May. Let me know if you're still buying. Are you doing more selling? What's happening? And what's the summer going to look like for you in terms of retro collecting? Well, that does it for me. I am the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.